Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hopton Middle School's Facebook PTO meeting. This is also a chance for us to talk about our Title I plan and a public hearing. Again, welcome. This recording will be available at any time on our Hopton Middle School Facebook page for you to review at a later time. First, we'd like to talk to you about our Athletic Booster Club. Our Athletic Booster Club is a very important part of our school community. It is a group of parents that work very hard together to raise money and support athletics at Hopton Middle School. Currently, our president is Ms. Tanya Blackman, our treasurer is Ms. Candace Warren, and maybe you can be a vice president or a secretary. If you're interested in supporting athletics and our student athletes, we encourage you to contact the Athletic Booster Club. Another important group in our school community is our PTO. Currently, our president is also Ms. Tanya Blackman, our treasurer, Ms. Candace Warren, and there are many opportunities for you to participate and support the teachers and the students. So maybe you can be our next vice president and our next secretary. Our staff greatly appreciate Hopton Middle School's PTO and all they do for us so that we can support your son and daughter. The next part of our PTO tonight is a Title I public hearing. I'd like to first provide you with some information about our program. Title I is federal funding that comes to schools that have at least 50% of its students that would receive free or reduced lunch. This funding from the federal government is in addition to state and local funds, and it is granted to schools on a per pupil low income basis. Schools that receive this federal Title I funding are required to conduct school-wide projects that are designed by each school, specifically by each school's school improvement team, to enrich the academic program for each student, and also to offer high quality education to all students in high poverty schools. Title I funding is also used to promote and increase parental involvement. We use a great majority of our parental involvement funding to purchase the student planners and agendas for each student. And that is a great way to communicate between teachers and parents. And Title I funding is also used for professional development for teachers. The federal government and Title I says that you have rights to know. We're going to go over just a few specific things that you have a right to know. This information regarding the professional qualifications of your child's classroom teachers and teacher assistants includes the following. You have a right to know whether your child's teacher has met state qualification and licensing criteria for the grade levels and subject areas in which the teacher provides instruction. You also have the right to know whether your child's teacher is teaching under an emergency or other provisional status through which state qualification and licensing criteria have been waived. And you also have a right to know the baccalaureate degree major of the teacher and any other graduate certification or degree held by the teacher and the field of discipline of this certification or degree. You also have a right to know whether your child is provided services by teacher assistants, and if so, their qualifications. If you would like to receive information about the qualifications of your child's teachers or teacher assistants, please call the Sampson County Schools Title I office at 910-592-1401. And in addition, if your child's school will notify you at any time if your child has been taught for 4 or more consecutive weeks by a teacher not meeting state professional qualifications. And I can assure you as principal of Hopton Middle School that each of your children is taught by a highly qualified teacher or teaching assistant. The next part of our Title I public hearing is to let you know the amount of Title I funding our school receives and how our school improvement team has chosen to use it. The total amount of Hopton Middle School's Title I funding for this school year is over $168,000. I know that seems like a great deal of money, but even $168,000 doesn't go far. Our school improvement team has met and decided that we will fund 2 teaching positions at Hopton Middle School. And we fund these teacher positions to reduce class size. We've already mentioned that we will use some of this Title I money to increase parental involvement, and that's about $1,820. In addition, we will provide $2,000 for substitutes for our staff so that they can participate in staff development. We will also set aside $2,000 for stipends that we will pay staff directly for staff development in which they participate. $5,500 will be used for contracted services that will benefit students directly. $1,000 will be used to pay teachers for workshop expenses they incur. A great majority of this discretionary funding, over $19,000, is going to be used for general instructional supplies, copy paper, ink for printers, color pencils, glue sticks, paper, all sorts of things that we freely give to students. Additionally, $5,000 of our Title I allotment will be used to purchase additional library books. $10,000 will be used for computer supplies and software. $500 will be used for certain computer equipment. We will buy very much needed PE equipment for our students at the amount of $5,000. And we will use $2,500 to pay for bus mileage for remediation for students who need to stay after school but need bus transportation home. Title I also requires us as a school and a school improvement team to develop a school improvement plan. Our school improvement plan is available on our website, and if you would just click on the Students and Parents tab, but I think that has been changed to the Our Schools tab. So here, instead of Students and Parents, you'll click on the Our Schools tab. Title I funding of $168,000 doesn't do it all. There are many things that Title I funding cannot be used for, and that's why we have many school fundraisers throughout the year. Our Media Center will be holding a book fair the week of October 4 through 8. Our Booster Club will have a pine straw sale in the spring. Every home athletic event, our PTO will be selling concessions. COVID protocols allowing, we will have our talent show on March 22nd. Our Beta Club will conduct a spring drink sale to raise money for the spring convention so that students won't have to pay as much. We will have our Booster Club car wash in the fall. If you are interested in being a sponsor, whether it's an individual sponsor or you're a business owner and you want to be a Booster Club sponsor, please contact Ms. Tanya Blackman, our Booster Club president. We will have a Booster Club Krispy Kreme sale in the fall. COVID protocols allowing, we'll begin our PTO movies again for a cost of $3. A student will be provided a snack, a drink, and see a wonderful movie. Our Media Center is having a fundraiser where we would like you to send every penny that you have at home to school. And these will be used for our pages, who's our library assistants, to provide needed supplies for them. Our Science Club will be holding an Epicure Spice and Food Additive sale on October 4th. Hopton Middle School is a PBIS school. PBIS stands for Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. Well, what does that mean? When you visit Hopton Middle School, you're going to see our PBIS matrix everywhere. We have beautiful framed banners and posters in our hallways. Our matrix is in each classroom, and it's divided into four specific areas that we expect our students to follow. We expect our students to be respectful, organized, attentive, and responsible. And if our students are all four of those, like any good wildcat, we're going to roar. We teach these expected behaviors to our students. We teach them how to be respectful, organized, attentive, and responsible in the bathroom, in the hallway, in the classroom, on the bus, in the cafeteria line, wherever they are. We teach them how to behave so that we don't have to punish them for their misbehaviors. And whenever students are following our expectations, we're going to reward them. We're going to reward them with Cat's Cash, which is our token economy at Hopton Middle School, where they learn to save money, they learn to spend money, and they'll be able to redeem that in our PBIS store, which is sponsored by our PTO. I would hope and expect that each parent wants to monitor their child's grades and attendance. You can do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on our Power School Parent Portal. If you do not already have login information for this, please contact the school and we'll get that login information to you. This is a great way for you to remain in communication with your child's teachers. We are so thankful to Sampson County Technology Department that our school is now 1-to-1. What does that mean? That means that every child has been issued a school laptop and a charger. But I need your help, parents. I need you to make sure that your child is taking good care of these devices. Monitor your child when they're using school devices and make sure they're not being defaced or vandalized or dropped or left outside. Remember that all damages and losses are the parent's responsibility. If you've not yet paid the $25 county technology fee, I please ask you to do that as soon as possible. And there's good news. If this fee is paid, that's going to cover the first accidental minor damage to school devices. I delayed in bringing this topic up, but we know COVID-19 has not gone away. And even though we've tried to communicate the protocols and our expectations, I wanted to take one more opportunity to talk to you about our Sampson County Schools protocols. Please listen very carefully. If your student has any of the following symptoms, please keep them at home and call the school. Fever or chills, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, sore throat, a new loss of taste or smell, headache, fatigue, muscle or body aches, or congestion or runny nose. Just because they have one of those symptoms does not mean that they have COVID-19. But these are symptoms that we will exclude children from school. Please don't send them to school with any of these symptoms. Another part of this is the exclusions. If your child is excluded from school, which means they cannot attend, for symptoms, now this is only for the symptoms, you have 3 options. But I do not want you just to take the first option. That's the easy one. The first option is that they need to remain out of school for 10 days from the start of the symptoms, and they can have no symptoms on day 9. You can do that, but I would rather you do option 2 or 3. This gets your son or daughter back into school sooner. Option 2, go get them tested for COVID-19. And if that test is negative, bring your child with you and a copy of the negative test, and I will admit them to school right away. The third option you have is to take your child to the doctor. And if the doctor says it's something else, if the doctor says it's allergies, then the doctor can write that on a piece of paper and tell us that COVID-19 testing is not allowed. Bring that documentation with you, and I will admit your child to school. And please don't send these documents with your child on the bus. And don't let your child get out of a car with the documents without you. I need to meet with you. The second part of our COVID-19 school protocols only has to do with those students who have been tested positive for COVID or have been identified as a close contact to someone with COVID. If you fall into one of those 2 categories, here are some very important things you need to do to get your child back in school. Please stay in contact with the Sampson County Health Department, because they're going to be calling you from time to time to monitor symptoms in the house and see how you're doing, see how your son is doing. When they have cleared you, they will send me at Hopton Middle School a letter saying the date that you may return. But I ask you to please be patient. The health department is swamped with many cases of COVID-19. And sometimes we don't get those clearance letters until 2 or 3 days after a student may return. This last one is these last 2 are very, very important. Hopton Middle School will contact you, the parents, when we have received the letter and let you know when your child can return to school. The last one is very important. If you have COVID-19 or you have been identified as a close contact, a negative COVID-19 test alone will not get you back into school. You have to be cleared by the health department. A few closing comments before I let you go. We're going to have EOG testing again this year, and as always, this is a mass undertaking at any school. Ms. Leach, our assistant principal, desperately needs some parent volunteers as proctors. Please contact her and volunteer your time. Progress reports will be issued directly to your sons and daughters today and tomorrow. I ask you when you're sitting around the dinner table tonight, hey Susie, hey Jose, let me see your progress report. And I'd like you to sign that and return it for a homework grade. And as always, we love you. We love your son and daughter, and you're welcome to call us at any time if you have any questions. If I've talked too fast, remember you can look at this video again at your leisure. And I thank you for attending our PTO. Good night.